Okay, this video is for Dave. I have your two quads finished up here. So this is Primo, and this was already built, but I fixed it for you. Well, let's start with this. So you sent it to me with, it had these motor wire extenders. And these things, I don't know, I don't remember if I did this on video or not before, but I remember I took one of these apart and it just looked so horrible under the heat shrink. Like, I think some of them weren't even soldered at all. And I've noticed a lot of people having issues with getting their motors just spin upright and stuff when they use these. I've experienced that myself personally, so I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, so I took those off and I went with some LEDs, but it still wasn't going to be long enough because these LEDs are only 10 millimeters long. If I would have had like some of the 4x20 millimeter ones, that would have been perfect. So for anybody out there, if you're thinking about or planning on using or are using those motor wire extension plugs, get rid of those and just get some of those Flywoo 4x20 millimeter LEDs and cut the motor wire pretty much how I did, about 1/4 inch to the end, and then the other end of the wire and the plug from the motor you put on this end of the LED, and it's gonna reach like perfect. So but it wasn't gonna reach how I had it with these shorter LEDs. So what I did was I have this drawer full of plugs and wires and stuff. This thing fills up like every few months. It'll fill up and I'll get rid of them. But so I just grabbed 4 plugs that I had. They're the type of plugs that come with like cameras and whatnot. The little 3 plugs that are usually on a camera. Because that's the same plug that the motor plugs use. So that's why it's red, black, and yellow. But yeah, this is much better than those extensions. This is the Beta FPV 1S flight controller. I was thinking that this thing would be so perfect on 2S, but then I was like, well, this is only a 1S flight controller, so I'm glad I didn't try 2S. But I don't even have any of those batteries anymore anyway. I used to have those 2S. Okay.
What do I press?
Just give me 1 minute, okay?
No, please.
So, oh, 1S, 2S. Yeah, 2S, okay. So, Race Day Quads has those little 2S. I think they're 300 milliamp hour with the PH 2.0 connector on them. I love those batteries. They're really good batteries. Perfect for situations like this, besides this flight controller, but these little quads like this. In my experience, the 2.0, I haven't even tried the BT 2.0. I have one here, and I've seen them before, but I haven't tried them yet. And the problem is, you know, you have to change your batteries out and everything. I mean, or you have to buy like Beta FPV's batteries, you know. So I mean, this is a really cool connector. I really like it. It's like a miniature XT30. I mean, if you look at, well, here's that XT30 right here. Well, here's one right here. It's like a little tiny XT30. It's pretty cool, and it's hard and solid. You know, the pins look really solid. I like it, but you know, there needs to be more batteries with this or something. I mean, it's not like it's hard to swap your batteries over to this, but it's a pain in the ass. So anyway, I'll just ramble on about all this shit if I could, but yeah, that's all I did. Well, I also had to, I bumped up the startup power for the ESCs. It was on 0.50 and I bumped it up to 1.00. Because with these little 0802 motors, I think that's what these are, 0802. Yeah. You want to have your startup power on like 100 or 1.0, whatever. And then you also want to raise your minimum, well, it used to be called minimum throttle. I forgot what it is now, but ever since D-Shock came out, it's not minimum throttle anymore. But stock is 4.5, I think. and I usually bump that up to like 5.5. So between doing that, those two things, it usually helps with the motors starting up when you arm it, because I'm sure some of you have had this problem before where with these tiny motors like this, you arm it and like only 2 of them or 3 of them spin. And you'll see in a second, it's going to happen, but you just got to like give it a little bit of throttle or maybe like yaw or whatever to get them all going. I'll show you. So, let me just plug in the battery. Show you what I'm talking about. This is mainly why I wanted to do this video anyway, to show you, in case you thought that there was a problem or something. So I'm going to arm it, and you'll see that not all of them will spin, but I'm going to give it a little bit of throttle, and then I'll get them all going. So here we go. There we go. See, I just gave it a little bit of throttle and a little bit of yaw, and then they all started to spin. But if you notice, this one didn't want to spin when I first armed it. The other 3 did, but making some weird sounds. Let's just do a little hover real quick. Here we go. So quiet. It's flying so good. So yeah, this isn't really the greatest combination. I mean, these are 12,000 kV motors, so they're really meant for 2S. Or like a 3-inch if you wanted to go 3-inch 1S, but 65 millimeter props, you would probably want to do 2S with these 12K, but as you can see, it'll fly just fine on 1S. So there's that one. Alright, this one I fully built this, and it's a TP3. You got the AMAX 1303 motors, Beta FPV, Toothpick 12 amp flight controller, Runcam Nano 2, nameless 400 milliwatt VTX, and an XM Plus. And then I don't remember what this came off. I think it's the Larva X, the canopy. Not a huge fan of this canopy, but it works just fine, and I'm sure it's pretty durable. Feels like it is. Didn't really have too much of a problem. The screws that I used, that came with it, were way too long, so I just snipped them off with some wire cutters, and put the XM Plus in the back sideways, so you can see the bind button is right there, so very easy to get to that. The VTX is attached to the back of the camera. I flashed it to 4.1.1, and then I updated the VTX table or whatever for Tramp, so that should be good to go. So yeah, this one should be good to go. I have not hovered this yet, but everything else should be good to go, so it should hover. So let's throw a battery on here. I love these 1303s. They're so nice. They're just really, really smooth. So smooth. You can feel it too when you're like, even if you're just in like Betaflight, spinning up the motors to see which way they're spinning, you can just feel it right away. Like, they instantly start spinning. This, I mean, as soon as you put that slider up, even just a tiny little sliver, they'll instantly just start, and they're so smooth. They're just really nice motors. AMAX makes great motors. They need to make some more sizes. Some 1204s would be nice. Alright, so I think I used this same profile, so let's see if it's still bound up. Oh yeah, it looks like it is, so let's see if it arms. Oops, I left the throttle up. Should arm now. Listen to how quiet that is. You can't even hear it. Just really nice motors. I love those things. Alright. Let's hover. Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh, battery's dead. Dang it. Well, you know it's flying smooth, so that should be good enough. Let me... Yeah. Dead battery. Let's throw a 3S on there. That's a 2S. I'm actually curious now because I think it's a dead battery, but I want to make sure that there's nothing else wrong. Yeah, it was just the battery. Woo! Alright, cool. So this guy's good to go. Let's make sure that Tramp's working. And the video, I guess. Yeah, the video's good. Let's go into the menu. Features, Tramp. And let's see, we'll put it on... It should be on F... Yeah, it's on F1 right now. Fat Shark 7. So let's go to set. There we go. So we'll put it on 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Alright, so your Tramp is working. Cool. So this guy's ready to go. I will get both of these boxed up and shipped out tomorrow. And I'll send you over tracking as soon as I have it. Alright, thank you.